at 10 a.m.
Well, a good Thursday morning to you. It is wake up here for this Thursday get together. You have tuned your heart to the truth. 18 minutes and 40 seconds, roughly, after the hour.
Yep. That's better. That's
No.
better. I said 45 past the hour.
Oh, my.
And I imagine I got some people really panicky. You're not late for work. I am so sorry.
I think of Dina Dow driving on the road. Like,
sorry about that, y'all. You're
no.
on time.
No,
You're
we
okay.
are on time. Yeah, 19 after the hour on Wake Up with Gabby Smith and David Dawson.
I'm glad you clarified it's Thursday. I mean, that's what kind of
it's a good start.
Trouble I'm having today. But right now, we're joined by one of my favorite guests, Ben Clapper. He's the executive director of Louisiana Right to Life. We're going to be the segment is called Pro-Life Persuasion because, hey, if you're going to argue, nobody gets anywhere. But if you persuade or if you talk, at least get a dialogue going, something, then maybe we can plant seeds. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, David. How are you this great morning?
Doing great. It's 19 past the hour, so yeah, I'm doing better. So anyway, this is a question. Now, this one is a fascinating question because I think it's a legit question, and it's not an argument. It's a real question, and that is, what about a baby who is ill, disabled, or can't live outside the womb? Should abortion be legal then? And how do we respond to that?
Yeah, David, this is a tough one because this is really for those parents who have received a diagnosis of what doctors may call incompatible with life.
Yeah. Which
basically the doctors are saying that your baby will not live outside the womb. That's heartbreaking for parents, and it can be extremely, extremely difficult. And so I think just first, our hearts go out to any parents, any families who have faced that difficult situation.
Yeah.
I've never been through it myself, but I can only imagine the pain that has to go through. So I think that is the beginning. That pain, David, is why many doctors will recommend abortion in these situations. Their rationale is, hey, look, if the baby's not going to live outside the womb, don't go through the pain of carrying that baby and that baby will die. Just go ahead and have the abortion in the womb. A couple years ago in Baton Rouge, this was a big media story because there was a young woman who had whose baby was diagnosed with acrania at Women's Hospital, which meant that the top of the skull of the baby would not develop, and the baby would maybe die minutes or hours or days after birth. Yeah. And so this woman had decided that she wanted to get an abortion, so it became this controversy. So definitely a heartbreaking situation, for situations like this.
Is it so what do we say to this? I mean,
sure.
I mean, each case is individual, and I don't know.
Right.
You're absolutely right. This time now we're talking with compassion. This time we're not, I think it's more than persuasion now, right?
Sure. Certainly we have to begin with compassion, like I shared. Start with that acknowledgement of the difficulty that, a family faces in that situation.
Yeah.
But then I think we can, after we've done that, we can bring a few things just to share the pro-life perspective in this situation.
Right.
We don't think it's ever appropriate to intentionally end the life of another human being. So, and that's kind of a foundational perspective of the pro-life cause.
Yeah.
In this situation, we think it is, the child, we always want to give every person their full lifetime.
Yeah.
Even if that means that we know they may die. If there's someone who is outside of the womb and they're disabled or they're ill or for whatever situation, we would not say, well, this person is ill, let's go ahead, or disabled, let's go ahead and end their life now to save people from the rest of the pain and suffering that may come in the situation. People use this to say, well, grandpa is sick, let's just go ahead and put him out of his misery now,
Which,
sadly, is we've talked about that before, David, about other states that have legalized assisted suicide. So, you're seeing that thread through all of this.
Right.
But, every person deserves their full lifetime. And in these situations, we have to remember that sometimes a doctor can be wrong. A doctor's diagnosis can be incorrect, or at least maybe just a little off in terms of the severity of the disability that the baby may have. And for example, there's, I've met a child who has trisomy 13, which is a serious genetic disorder, but their children who have lived for years with trisomy 13 and have blessed the world with their gifts. And if an abortion would have happened in the womb, all those blessings that person may have offered to the world and to their family, would be forever gone and forever missed.
Yeah.
And that is, I think we acknowledge the compassion. Number two, we talk about what's our principle, that every human life deserves a lifetime, that we wouldn't do this customarily to someone outside of the womb. We also recognize that a doctor may be incorrect, or at least the severity of the diagnosis may not be correct. And so it's better to wait for that child to be born to really see the situation. But David, if that baby is born and that baby does die minutes or hours or days or weeks, whatever it might be, and there's no real way to tell, if that baby does pass away, we think it's better for that baby to pass away in the arms of his or her parents rather than, and I hate to say it like this, but at the tools of an abortionist in the womb,
Right.
And look, we got to go back to compassion, because there may be people out there even today whose doctors have recommended one path and they didn't have the support of others in their life to make a different choice. And this is no judgment at all in that situation. I know my friend Lynn, her and her husband Stephen, they had a baby who had trisomy 13. They were offered abortion, but they didn't choose abortion. They carried that life to term, and they tell me that their baby Tess gave, even though she died, of not long after birth, her short life blessed their family so much. So I think those are kind of the paths that we go and share, beginning with compassion, but offering those points along the way.
My wife and I recently had gone to a wedding out of town, and there was a young lady. She was in a wheelchair, and they were saying that, she was severely ill at birth. And here she is. She looked like she was maybe 17 or something, but she was in a wheelchair. You could severely disabled. But then they told me, oh no, she's in her 30s. And this is how long her parents, just loved her. And I can tell you this, Ben, when that young lady was in the room, the ripple effect, she lit up the room with her smile. And that joy just radiated from her. And even that was all. But it was huge when she was there. So something like that, I mean, just to talk about how each life like that is beautiful and precious, and the effect that it can have on others, because it definitely had a ripple effect throughout that whole evening, just that young lady being there, So, I mean,
amen. It takes us back that every life is precious. Every life has gifts to give and a light to shine. And if we put that light out too soon, we're going to miss those blessings that that life has to give us.
Yeah.
And we know it's not easy. And there are support groups available, that parents who've been through this, who can offer resources. So if anyone out there knows of struggles or people who are facing this, there are options. Please contact us. We also have a website, compatiblewithlove.com. People call these babies incompatible with life, but we call them compatible with love. So compatiblewithlove.com.
Okay.
We have some resources there, some stories of families who've gone through this as well.
Compatiblewithlove.com. That's beautiful. You got a website dedicated to that, because I'm sure the issue is going to come up, and you're absolutely right. 9 out of 10, I don't know how many doctors, will just say, let's go ahead and, terminate this. And let's give them an option, right?
That's right. And give them an option for heroic love in the moment.
Beautiful.
And that love wins in the end. I've never met someone who's carried that child to term who regrets what that they did that.
Beautiful. Well, Ben, once again, thank you for joining us. We've been talking to Ben Clapper. He's the executive director of Louisiana Right to Life. And what is your website, Ben, that we can go to for everything?
Sure. Our website is prolifelouisiana.org. Just Google Louisiana Right to Life. You'll find us as well all across social media. And then that website specifically on this issue was compatiblewithlove.com.
Okay. We can get to it from your other website.
Then. Oh, yeah. Okay. Either way. Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Ben, God bless you for what you do. Louisiana Right to Life.
Thank you.
You keep up the good work, and we will always pray for you. And you always have a microphone.
Thank you, guys.
So, all right.
God bless.
Yeah, the resources that Louisiana Right to Life provides for all stages of life is so important and needs to continue to flourish out there. But Ben's right. There's so many resources and support groups out there, and Ben has those. So if you're looking for something that you think could best fit your family, Ben can direct you to where you need to go. So great place.
They work so hard over there, too. Do a beautiful, beautiful job. All right, we come back. We're going to talk to somebody by the name of David Dawson Jr. It is 1:30 on Wake Up.